Greetings, mortals. I am Nathas, the ruler of the underworld, and today we will be reacting to the newest chapter of My Hero Academia, chapter 384, titled "It's a Small World." Not certain what that's called a chapter, since the world is not small. It's not even one of those funny encounters like, oh, well, small world. It's more like everyone's kind of looking at the phones right now. But to be fair, that's pretty much modern world in a nutshell. But yeah, besides the miss, I will say not exactly the correct title. Out of the way, let's get into the chapter. As we start the chapter off with Gigantomachia rampages, he's throwing just just piles of the ground at all for one. It screams "Roar!" as we have now scream a roaring scream. As there we have Tokoyami saying, "This is risky. Did Shinjo brainwash him into fighting on our side?" Since Jigarama gets knocked off his brainwashing, it's kind of like switching sides type of deal. And then you have to deal not only with Dobby's rampaging flames, Toga's twice copy, endless supply of ice twice copies, and now you have to deal with Young, all for one, who is apparently able to fight not only Gigantomachia but also Giant Dark Shadow, but then Gigantomachia top of that. That's kind of a lot. As then we have Hogs being like, yeah, that's what we've been bet on. Mount Lady's protecting Machia, but so I guess Mount Lady was the one in charge of protection. I would put Kamai Woods in charge of that, but I don't think he was there though, so I can't really blame it or anything like that. But right there we see just All For One kind of blowing, seeing some of those stuff up and over the place. Instead of young All For One being like, I was wondering how the Orama family managed to deceive me. So this is the answer, a manipulation quirk. So yeah, he's finally put the dots together. As then we have, I guess Hawk screaming that, or maybe what Hawk screams earlier, but Hitoshi Shinsu's brainwashing can be broken by a strong physical attack. As then we have All For One be like, that's just like something I would do. So basically like, hey, are you trying to steal my title as the Demon Kid Lord? You fucking bastards, I am the only Demon Lord in this place. So yeah, anyways, then we have him sending a blast. As we have Hawk screaming, Kiyoshima! Is then we have the first blast. I mean, alright. I was wondering how much it would take for Gigantomachia for him to be snapped out of it because it's Gigantomachia. It's not exactly easy knocking the guy down because of his already naturally high defensives. But here we see that All For One's first attack, not even like a superpower like my last chance kind of attack. It's literally just like these annoying heroes. Alright, you take you out. It was literally just like alright side thing. As then we have All For One blasting Gigantomachia, as we have Cox of if All For One breaks his hold, Machia will once again obey him. And then we have Gigantomachia, I got brain blasted, but he's, still, it's just kind of smoke off him. And then Gigantomachia is starting to speak with, you look different, but my sense of smell tells me it's you. All For One, my master, I've been waiting for you. And then Gigantomachia is starting to speak with, why did you abandon me? And then Jared Alpha be like, wait, why is he asking me stuff like this? And then we have Hawks be like, if Shinsu's forcing Makia to speak like he did with the Ayamas, but that can't be. He didn't have a chance to brainwash Makia again, so what's going on? So, yeah, basically we have interesting plot twists. Then we have Makia talking, as then we have him, Makia remembering All For One as he kind of parted ways with him. As they have All For One in the flashback like, my beloved Makia. Unfortunately, I have to go into hiding, but eventually my successor will come looking for you. Having to leave as if having you to having to leave your side breaks my heart to pieces. Basically, like how what you should do to a dog, which is to a favorite, something that's been referred to Gigantomachia a lot of times. Instead of Gigantomachia screaming, while the body of the successor that found me was different, he still had your voice and your smell. I could tell it really was you, all for one. And then we see the flashback panel where we had, where All for One was controlling Shigaraki in the previous war, as the Nomus were like, running away from the battlefield. As then we have Giotto Maka screaming, I trusted your words and waited so long, but you abandoned me, master. You never came back. Which I guess Ofuan overestimated Giotto Maka's loyalty, or underestimated his sensing. It's one of those two, honestly. As then we see a shot of Shinso being there as Kirishima stands front of him, blocking the blow, and doesn't even seem to have that he was even moved. So yeah, not showing of power from Kirishima. I mean, it's not as nothing as it was against Gigantomachia, but remember, this was a blast that was supposed to knock Gigantomachia, and was very confident. Everyone was very confident that Gigantomachia is knocked out, and he is knocked out of the brainwashing. So for Kirishima to handle something like that is really impressive. Like he is clothing is the only thing that was destroyed. As there we have Shinso explaining to us a little bit. First Midoriya and Nomakia, they're the only two to ever resist my brainwashing. Wait, so does that mean that Gigantomachia was not broke out on his own? Not resorting to attack? But it's like both. And they have Shinsuke saying, even when I had Makia under my control, he was muttering about being betrayed. That's the reason why I bet on his anger too and gave him plenty of time to dwell on it. I'm just here as a safety measure. So basically, just if he wasn't going to betray you, I would just came along. Otherwise, I would have probably left a long time ago. Honestly, I'm way over my head here. As I have all for one, I'm gonna say listening to this, and then I have Shinso kind of shaking as he tells All for One, a lot of people say that I act like a villain. Well, not really, but I think it's more correct, but maybe it's just a translation thing. As then we have Shinso saying, but my quirk has absolutely no control over what goes in someone's heart. As they have Hawk screaming as well, it looks like no one wants to read a story about the Demon Lord. So yeah, I guess we all know where this is going. Although, funny enough, I would actually want to read a story about the Demon Lord. Actually, think about it. A story about the Paranormal Liberation Fund just living day to day, conquer the world, similar to Nazarick in Overlord would probably be a very interesting concept. As they have Gigantomachia going back into Rampage to be like, well, biting his master for being mean to him. As then we have Mount Lady with the giant Raj going to clobber him. As we have Giant Darkshot also going to clobber Offward. As then we have Hawks, I'm guessing, thinking, like, we need to keep attacking until he rewinds into oblivion. So they even kind of admit they can't beat Prime or Young All for One in his prime, but they're like, we have to swear until he dies from reviving. As then we have three giants as well as Inasa's wind, just blasting everything and hitting Overlord with everything. Overlord is essentially fighting. He's just literally a god fighting three titans at this point. So yeah. Anyways, then we cut to the city where Deku is fighting Shigaraki, and then we see a helicopter flying in the sky as it rains and everything. Is there someone saying, we have to make sure we don't get in their way. Yeah, I bet that's why I brought our most expensive camera. We'll zoom in from 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 afar. It looks like prom, but I think it's just supposed to be from. But yeah. Although I don't think expensive camera is what you need. I think it's just the best camera we could get. As then we have the camera guy being like, boarding a helicopter in this kind of weather. Did you lose your mind or something? As then we see the news reporter that's been in the early chapters of My Hero My Academia. I know her. That she was definitely in the when Shiroki broke into UA for the first time in years. The like destruction of walls. She's there. Then she puts that her news station on her hand, and she tells him, "Right back at ya. I can't explain why. It's just something I have to do. I'm a reporter through and through. Learn from me, you idiotic American reporters." Basically, is what I'm guessing she's saying right now. As then we have the two getting dressed and getting ready. As then we see that guy telling her, "Hey, look, take a look at this." As then we have her remembering that boy dressed in rags was a UA student all along. So she's putting two connections together. As we see the on her computer, wherever they were, I guess they were living in the station for some fucking reason. Even though if it is going apocalyptic, the main priority is staying on the news reporter. This is kind of hilarious to think. Like, imagine now the heroes are playing like, "Hey, you have to leave." And they're like, "No, we must stay here. We must stay in the news reporting room." It's like Green Jungle all over again, for God's sakes. As they will see the YouTube Gentle's YouTube channel, as it's broadcasting everything. As if the girl, the news reporter, be like, "I thought I recognized him, so I looked through my old footage, and it turns out I'd met him even before the sports festival." As then we get like Gentle's new reporters just getting kind of high subscribers and all. As then we see the flashback for the panels with them. As then we have this guy being like, "To think that such a timid boy could change so much in just 1 year." It's really been only one year. I feel like at this point it probably have to be at least a year and a half. Although to be fair, there's a bunch of time skips in between, so I'll probably just miss. You know, it's probably not supposed to be 1 to 1, but still. If they have a getting determined and ready, there's another panel of the Gentles YouTube channel, which funny enough it has a J instead of a G, where you get spell checked by me of all demons. And then we get our one page where we have Shigaraki and Daku facing off as we have Izuku's crushing Shigaraki's hands, or just holding his hand so he doesn't decay. As then we have also says then we have Shigaraki just laughing myonically, which is nice to see. It's always nice to see Shigaraki laugh like the lunatic he is. As then we have the camera guy looking through the on the window. It's like, seems we're not the only ones who felt like they had to do something. And then we see that was like a helicopter in these winds. Are they insane? So even they're not how insane this is, but they're still gonna be doing that. Anyways, there we see another news reporter as her bird quirked mutant cameraman is filming, as she tells him, "I'm sorry for dragging you along with me." As then this guy's like, I made this choice of my own free will. Believe me, if I actually was scared, I would probably be knocking you out and just running for the hills." As then we see, this is the same news reporter that was being a bitch to Endeavor in the, when they were having their meeting. You saw in the last season, the one that was screaming Endeavor when there was that conference. As then we have her saying, "Oh, she's more calm about it." She's like, "This goes beyond journalism. I need to undo the damage I caused." To be fair, you were more reasonable of everyone. I mean, compared it to some others. As they have also her saying, "It's not professional, it's personal." I think it's both, or it's obsession with your love for journalism. As there we have her come and be like, "It's not as though we are on the clock. This time we owe it to ourselves to do our fucking job for once." As they have saying, "It's the same for them." As then we have, I think, her looking at the news, looking at the phone, looking at the broadcast. I'm not certain because her hands seem different here. Or maybe it's the bird. Maybe it's a bird work user, but I think even he has normal hands. So I don't know who's looking at this because of the weird hands, which kind of look like that quirk that Awful One has. That stack. As there we have her, someone said, I'm gonna say her saying, "Izuku Midoriya isn't alone on the battlefield." even though they saw their comrades give up and walk away, as we see the ninth hero and Musha shows with panel, we see Death Arms panel, we see that guy who said we are leaving, and then we see a bunch of like no name heroes, well, no name, no face heroes leaving. As they as then we have the next panel contrasting with a bunch of the heroes who remained and all still kind of pissed off and using all their forces, which is kind of fun. Sama essentially without any damage, but then you have stuff like Endeavor, Kira, Iryukyu, I kind of want to say, and some other and sidekicks from Endeavor, all like fighting, even though they are essentially, even though they're all bleeding and everything. As there we have saying some of them have chosen to stand and fight. It's been reported in many countries that Japan has been defeated, but there are still people here who haven't given up. We are here to tell the story, and that's what we'll do, regardless of whoever win or loses. We see the helicopter, then we see an explosion where I think is the battle with All For One. Then we see the that's a coffin that was supposed to defeat Off One being in the air. As then we see some of the leaf panels going well for like a simple, for nice scenery. Eh? As then we have another one set. The newspaper continue with every day the world seems smaller and more connected. So let's record what happens next. I guess that's what's supposed to be referring to, but still, it's kind of a little forceful. I mean, everyone's on a computer. I don't really think that makes the world smaller. Just shows how wide the computers are. And then we have the Gentles YouTube channel. We have Gentles Heroic and Shivers channel. As the viewers goes from 7,600 to 20,306 instead of seconds, so it's just increasing. As then we have I was saying and show it to this small world. As then we see some kids watching as they're like, where is Japan? Isn't that All Might's country? As then we have like this shot where we have a bunch of different characters there. We see the different from the perspective from the two boys. We see the Salam hero. We see, I think, the characters, the movie characters that were in the third one, the two brother and sister, and the other guy, and the big brother. We see a bit of US. We see the US president watching it on the tablet. Does he have ice cream to eat right now, or little children to sniff? Then we see the Akbar character watching it. Does he not have more professional viewers? Or to be honest, we don't see from what he's watching about by looks. It seems like he's watching on a phone. Then we see a show of some random people in some random people. We see some, I think, reused panels. Then we see on the other side also the characters from the first and second movie, the civilian ones. Then we see the electric hero, who I think was also in Japan for some reason once, but I guess also in Japan. I mean, here it looks like he's in London. Then we see some old guy. As then we have the newspaper ending the chapter with, they need to know that it's not over yet. And then we have the probably like around the world, referencing every movie we had so far, as well as every character that we've introduced from the world. Oh, we also have that on say about, I don't know, maybe he's gonna reawaken his spirit or something. Although I guess since he's so calm right now, it doesn't mean there has been any kind of like fighting from the Paranormal Liberation Fund members who've been in the shelters. Maybe we're gonna see it later, but who knows really. So yeah, this is a very. I'm kind of having mixed to negative feelings with this chapter because, I mean, don't get me wrong, I kind of get why Gigantomachia is like off his own free will attacking All For One because he was abandoned. Now it's time to bite the owner because he's being a dick. But it's kind of like just kind of there. We kind of definitely there was at least some build up to it beforehand. Like maybe a panel where Gigantomachia is thinking, like maybe someone is he? What is he mothering? Like someone will be like, is Gigantomachia mothering something about? And then Gigantomachia, okay, because Bob was like abandoned or All For One, uh, me or something like that to like really like show that's on his thought process right now. Because in the previous chapters, it seemed like All For Gigantomachia was having none of these issues. As we also have the fact, as in So that's kind of really good. And also, I don't really see the purpose of this like connecting everyone through the media. It just kind of feels like it's to show that everyone's like watching kind of thing. I get the idea, but it's not like everyone's supposed to see this to be like this big moment when everyone realizes it's, let's be real, okay, it's supposed to be like show who the true heroes are or something. But like I don't really see why we needed this it's the like I don't really see why we needed this kind of like everyone's watching this on computer kind of deal. Like I don't think it's been really like build up. Like at least in Black Clover, there's this whole you have to win merit and you have to have people acknowledge you as the Wizard King. So like, I get why there we have that, but here I'm kind of like I guess it's just supposed to be showing that who the true hero again, like just showing that they'll tell who the heroes are, who the true victors are gonna be at the end. But yeah, we'll see how that's gonna go on from now on. Now, anyway, that's the other chapter. What I think is going to happen next chapter, I could see the fight being continued. I could see Izuku fighting and Shiraki focusing on that fight. Maybe we're gonna cut on something else. I mean, we don't have any conclusions for the Aoyama fight, so maybe it's time for that fight to end. Which is kind of funny to think that those guys who mentioned Tyler still haven't like done anything or appeared yet. So, well, except for one, but yeah, that's I guess all we gotta have to do. I guess we just have to wait next week to see what's going to happen. But yeah, anyways, I hope you like this chapter reaction. I hope you leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos in the future. And with that's it, I can't wait to see all of you mortals next time. Goodbye.